Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Mental Health Awakening. And today, me and Angela are joined by Flo, and it's gonna be really interesting because it's a really good topic as well. Where we're gonna be focused on the physical health with mental health as well. So it's gonna be a really nice chat. So over to you, Angela.
I'm Angela T. Jackson. I'm a licensed professional counselor with national certification in the state of Tennessee, USA, partnering with the UK. And we are so excited to have our guests with us today. Let's go. Over to you, Flo. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Florry Weinstein. You can call me Flo. You'll probably hear me address myself as Flo, or they'll address me as Flo. I am a certified personal trainer, a group fitness instructor, as well as I'm also certified in G.E.A.R, which is indoor cycling. So with that, I have an indoor cycling studio in Middle Tennessee. This is what I do full time. It's my baby. So we do boot camp classes, indoor cycling classes, and then we also have different contractors that come in and do different formats for us, like step classes or yoga, something like that.
Awesome. Did y'all hear that? Tennessee. This is one of Tennessee's best kept secrets, and we're excited to learn more about it. So welcome to Mental Health Awakening. We want to definitely highlight wellness of all kinds and discuss how physical health definitely contributes and affects mental health. I was going to say it twice. How physical health affects mental health. I feel like there's a cycle between the two. One affects the other. It's not just physical health, not just mental health, but a total health perspective. So I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna be a really nice chat because you're the first say a personal trainer that we've had so far. So
Yes.
yeah, so it's gonna be really interesting. Like why you do it, like why it helps you and mental health. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting for me, and I know for Angela as well.
Yes, definitely. So you said that the cycling, this is what you do full time. This is your baby. Tell us a little bit more about that. Did you get into it personally, or was it your intent to start a business?
So I guess I can start kind of from scratch. So a few years ago, I left the military, probably like 4 years ago now, I want to say. And when I left the military, in the military, we're required to exercise. We run miles on miles. We lift, we run every
Yes.
single day. Like it can be a lot. And so leaving the military, I kind of had this freedom, like, ooh, so I don't have to work out if I want to like sleep in. And that I kind of developed a habit of not taking care of myself. And I told myself one day, I said, hey, I'm just going to get up. I'm just going to try something new. And so I went to a spin class in the city I was living in at the time. And I absolutely hated it. Like it was, it was awful. I was like, I get the idea. However, like no one greeted me. No one even had like a similar body type to me. No one looked like me. And the experience just was not good. But I went back like a few times just to make sure. I was like, maybe it's just me because I don't want to exercise. And I just noticed kind of this gap across the board for people who are still kind of trying to figure it out. So when I started getting certified for spin, probably like 3 months after that, I immediately knew that the goal was to open a studio for people just like me. I never had the intent to spin under somebody else, which of course there was always the opportunity, but my goal was always to open up my own community to host these classes and build this experience for people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how is it going? How is the program going and growing?
It's going and it is growing. So we, of course, are still in, I call it like a halfway pandemic now, because we have areas of the city that enforce all of these things due to COVID-19. And then we have areas that don't enforce anything. And Middle Tennessee, the area that we are in, is in the middle of Middle Tennessee. And so you have, like, if you take a right, like, masks everywhere. If you take a left, you won't see a mask anywhere. So we do, of course, just like any business right now, we do struggle with the aspect of bringing in new people, because that is new exposure. But how I guess I can make more sense by saying the people come. It's the fear of COVID that kind of keeps people at bay. They're still, working out at home, working out when gyms are empty. But other than that, our community itself, let's see, we have been open for almost 8 months, and we have doubled. So we were like, okay. We were able to maintain like a good amount of people, because I also just had a baby. So we were able to maintain a good amount of people. But of course, with turnover, with me going on maternity leave, they were like, is she ever going to come back? And I just had a child. So I would say my favorite thing about the process is actually getting to see the process happen. And kind of seeing even like the coaches that work under me, kind of teaching them as well, like the importance of patience and the importance of consistency in the business that we're in.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so it's a new business, 8 months, but knowing a little bit about a brand and business, I know that it had to be birthed a good amount of time prior to that. So that's awesome. I'm glad that you can see the growth there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's great. Like now it's been there for a fair few months. And because you're off on leave, you have people just to keep that going. Like while you're not there. So it's good that like you've done that, and like I suppose when you're able to go back, you'll continue to have as much of the fun as you were having before.
Yes, so I am back. So I guess I took maternity leave for like a month, which I thought was crazy. But I have been back for a little bit now, and I feel like the most fun part of it for me is when I came back, I literally told my team, I said, hey, we're starting from scratch. Like everything, just throw it out the window, because my vision is different now. And your goals and your visions have to always align. So I feel like that's probably the most exciting part, because our clients also bought into that vision. Like the moment I said, hey, things are going to be different. And as we all know, with change, someone will usually stay or go. So it's very nice to see like, okay, we're all on board. Like we're all doing this thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's dive into the topic, exploring how physical health directs mental health. What has been your experience specifically to that topic? And you start wherever you're most comfortable.
Yeah, so let's see. Ooh, that's a good, I'm like, where do I want to start? Because it all ties in together. I would say kind of going back to where I began about talking about how I got into teaching spin. Coming from the military, leaving the military in general is very scary. Like, even if you know it's your time, even if you're like, okay, I'm ready to go, it's a scary thing, because your entire life has been intertwined into somebody else's system. And I was in the military for 6 years. So when I left the military, my mental health 100% suffered. My physical health 100% suffered, because I was like, what? I didn't gotta work out. And I was living in Memphis when I first got out the military. And if you haven't been to Memphis, the food it's just addicting. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna thrive in this way. And I slowly but surely started to develop all these bad habits that affected my physical health. Like I was far, far, far overweight. Like I couldn't even walk up the stairs and without like huffing and puffing after like 3 steps. Or my mental health was suffering. I was constantly in isolation. Couldn't get a handle on relationships, couldn't keep friendships, always thinking, oh, well, this person might be coming for me or something like that. And it comes a time where you have to recognize or at least acknowledge you might be lacking in an area. And to be lacking in multiple areas, that's probably the hardest part. If you're lacking in one, you might be able to pull up, okay, well, I know I need to exercise, so let me build this habit. Or I know I might need therapy, so let me, find a therapist that I enjoy, that I know will work with me and my needs, and start to level up on my own. And so when you're missing both of those components, it can be hard because one day it works and one day it doesn't. So in my own experience, I literally just woke up one day and I remember specifically, like, I wanted to go to this event. And of course, Mason, I know you're a man, so it wouldn't be the same for you, or maybe it could. I wanted to wear this specific outfit. And I remember I couldn't even put it on. And I just started like crying. And that's what I recognized, like, my physical health is failing, like bad.
Yeah.
And then I started to lose friends and I started to fight with my family and isolate myself. And I recognized, okay, and my mental health is failing. So what are the steps that I need to take? And I just wrote down, and I've been doing this every single year ever since 2018. I've written down what are the things that I want for myself this year and what are the steps that I need to take to do it. I knew that I wanted to have healthy relationships. I knew that I wanted to be healthy. And so I wrote out exactly what it was that I was going to do. And so that's how I literally, for me to be an athlete my entire life, being in the military, it was very humbling to write down, okay, I need to put myself to work. Like I need to go sweat. I need to exercise and like not choose wings every time I pass by a wing stop, And then with my mental health as well, it was just, everyone, especially, the way that a lot of our generation was raised was just to put your mental health to the side. Like that's your least important thing.
Right.
And it's the most important because, that is your brain. You need it. You have to be healthy. And the happiest person in the world can still struggle with their mental health. So I feel like that was probably the hardest part for me. I knew I could get back into the gym and do my thing. But the hardest part was having that conversation with myself and saying like, hey, you don't have it all together. You don't have to pretend to have it all together. Let's go to a therapist. And that genuinely changed my life. Like had I not gone to therapy, I don't think I would be able to deal with many things or know how to handle many things, even like navigating relationships and navigating my business as well. And that's how I kind of moved into, now that I coach others to be their best self, I have to come and bring my best self always. And that's learning like you can be the most fit person in the room, you can be the hardest worker in the room. However, if you're not mentally present, if you're not mentally sound, how are you going to truly give your best if your best is not even in the room with you? Yeah. So that's kind of how it's all tied together now, is teaching others to be well-rounded, because it's easy to have like that triangle. I use my hands and I'm like using my hands. It's easy to have that little like the triangle effect of health. Like, okay, well, my mind is cool over here, and then my body is cool over here, my spirit is cool up here, but they all would go into just one thing. If I took two edges of my triangle, they point to one specific thing, and it's a circle. It's well-rounded, everything has to flow together always for you to be continuously thriving. And not all the days are going to be perfect, but that's why it's just a continuous cycle. You know, the wherever the circle started, if you're rolling a ball, at one point, if you mark that ball, that marker point is going to come back up another time, and it's going to keep rolling, and it's going to keep going continuously, but you have to push the ball.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. You've made a lot of great points, very well said, especially as it relates to mental health. And sometimes I see people who deal with different stressors, different situations, life changes, struggles to adjust, but then there's that denial that keeps them stuck, right? So the way that you described how you became aware, certain things kind of triggered that or prompted that, and you had to stop and think. Oh, of course, there were those crying moments, like what you mentioned, and I can relate to that definitely. And there are things that help to prompt the awakening sometimes, but being able to self-evaluate and realize, hey, I can talk to someone else. I do need a therapist. Something that I've been doing on my own has not been working to this point. I'm not sure how we, derailed or where things changed, but I do need some support here. And that's what's so important about having a mental health professional, is because you can bring it all to the table, whether it's communication, whether it's, it could be communication in all types of relationships. And I say this a lot because it's true. It could be familial relationships, intimate relationships, peers, whatever the case may be. And so decision-making, getting you back on track, figuring out what was working before that I have walked away from, or what new habits can I develop? So a lot of that process that you described, I can see it circling around to some more healthy habits as opposed to the unhealthy coping skills and things like that. Oh, because I've been to Memphis.
Yes. Now Mace has to go to Memphis, so he can.
Yes, you got to come to America, so you know what she's talking about that food and the corners and the street tacos and the wings.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing all of that.
Yeah. Oh, I find it's really interesting, like what you said, because like, especially from working in the army for 6 years, and then then going over to being a personal trainer, having your own thing as well, which I think maybe for you and your mental health, like you're in control a bit more than when you was at the army, maybe, because I suppose not from my experience, because I've never been in the army, but I can imagine how stressful it is, like probably getting up really early in the morning, and doing the stretches, getting people giving you orders, but now I suppose being a personal trainer, you have the opportunity to give people orders of your own. so you got a little bit of the advantage there, but yeah, like mental health is really important, and I'm glad that you've come on and to speak about like your experiences with that.
Thank you. And it is, I will say, I never even thought about that dynamic that you said, like getting orders and then giving orders, because in the military, I was in E6, so I was in leadership, like from the time I was in boot camp. And even then, like you think you're giving the orders, but you're just giving someone else's orders. So like there's just not that level of freedom. And in the military, they do push mental health, because in the military, suicide rates are high, which, sorry for the trigger, but suicide rates are very high. We actually have the highest rates, like in the US. Not even an average individual going through a very tough life in the regular world, it's military personnel. And every single day for 6 years, my life was the exact same. I wake up at the exact same time every day. I eat the exact same breakfast every day. I do the exact same type of workout. I wear the exact same outfit because we have a uniform, you know? So it's like learning, and I feel like this can tie to anybody because I'm a routine person. Did the military make me that way? Probably so. If I had it my way, I probably would eat the same thing every day, but I don't think my family would like that very much. And so I feel like that's kind of where, like I said, it's scary to have that new dynamic, and it 100% can affect your mental health. And a lot of people don't talk about the fact that a lot of people who leave the military, their mental health, like, it becomes substantially worse because they no longer have those orders. They no longer have that the discipline of, I know I have to be here at this time. I know I need to wear this thing. I know I need to eat food because I have a 12-hour watch coming. I might get 2 hours of sleep in the next 7 days. And so now you have all this freedom and it just hijacks your brain. You're like, what do I want to do first? What do I want to not do first?
Yeah.
So I feel like, but the one thing that my clients always tell me is they can tell me that I've been in the military. Like, out of all of the team, I'm the most militant person. Like, and if I hadn't told them I was in the military, they would guess that I did something where I was like the boss. Because even like the way I demand effort, the way that I motivate, I don't need much motivation to operate. However, on my worst days, I always think, if I was on the other side of this room, like, and someone came in and they were about to tell me to exercise and sweat, what would I need on my worst day to get through this? And so I feel like the military, even though I hijacked my brain for sure that first like year out, I feel like it has 100% shaped the way that I lead people now. Because I just want them to be excellent out here, but to be excellent, you have to be healthy. So I learned that very quick.
Awesome. So with what you were saying, as far as the schedule, as far as the military or the order, I can see how that adjustment would it would probably, it's not necessarily like flipping a switch off and on, you know? So going from an atmosphere where it's already structured, organized in a certain way, and then having that freedom is like a culture shock. So the way that you're saying that a lot of people struggle even worse, or there's an increase in mental issues or challenges, I definitely can see that being possible. A lot of times people associate PTSD with the mental health diagnoses related to military, but there are other things that can happen there. You know, if someone struggles to focus, if there's ADHD, if there's anxiety in general that was already present, of course, that will contribute to what happens as time changes on. So that was a great point that you made there, definitely.
Yeah, and I like the fact that like you'll take some things out of working with the army, and then like for example, maybe like in the manners that you're doing stuff at the army, you take that to your personal training, which I suppose is good, because in a way they are two different things, but they you're kind of teaching in a way with personal training. It's the way you're saying things, or the way you're speaking, or the way you're moving, like your hands or stuff. I know I speak with I fluff my hands sometimes. I don't know if you did that, but you might you might do that.
I do.
Yeah.
I've got my hands folded right now.
Yeah.
So
Mine are just sitting on my laptop because I literally will always speak with my hands, and I speak with my hands even when I'm coaching. So it's funny because if I'm asking like, hey, let's do this specific movement, I might be talking with my hands and they will think that's the movement. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm just animated. That's all, right? The best people
Mhm.
are.
It pushes the point. I actually went on your Facebook page and then Instagram and watched a few videos, and I was like, hey, now I don't know if I can I don't know if I can do that, but I like what I saw, the hand motions, the exercises in between, the cycling and all that. Yeah, I looked.
Thank you. It is my favorite thing. I never thought I would pick spin over personal training because the comfort level and how uncomfortable you have to get. But now I just thrive in the like being uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna figure it out together, everybody. So it's been really nice to kind of switch and put teaching spin or indoor cycling at the forefront because it's the thing like personal training was not what pulled me out of the dark. It wasn't what lit me up mentally. It was spin. It was indoor cycling. So I'm like, okay, if if I can spin for 45 minutes, which is cardio, and if I can coach somebody else and motivate somebody else through it, I'm truly doing something right. And I'm definitely where I'm supposed to be. So it's definitely, but we can get you in there. We can get you in a class. Masons don't have to do it online unless he
That's
comes on
right.
over.
Yeah.
So Flo is she's also going to be featured at the wellness conference. So maybe that's when I'll get a chance to get my demo in.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
the bikes are coming.
Yeah. Maybe we could sort something out. Like we could do it all virtually.
Yes. Hey, I
Yeah.
will literally have you in class next week. Like,
Yeah.
don't even sweat it. I'm gonna take care of y'all.
I do. The funny thing is, I have a bike in my shed. I haven't used it. It's been in there for a
Oh,
year.
now we gotta get you right. Now we gotta get you. Let me write it down too. Add
Look,
Mason
I'm
class.
sitting here laughing, thinking the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Bike in the garage.
Yeah.
Y'all are funny.
It is a gym bike though. Like the ones you get at a gym.
Yeah.
Like I've got all.
Wow.
Just started. We just started our virtual classes, so we have like on-demand memberships for people from anywhere to take our classes with us. Because that's the thing too. When we started ChampionSpin, I knew it was bigger than Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Like the goal is to impact anybody, anywhere, and everywhere. Like
Mhm.
the goal is to have ChampionSpin. Like anybody can look us up and see I've heard of them before, and they are impactful. Not just that we want to be a big name studio because it's so much bigger than that, but to truly change lives, you have to look beyond your zip code or
That's right.
whoever's in a 10-mile radius of you. Like you can reach somebody anywhere. So that is the goal.
Yeah.
Look, my heart is smiling, Mason. Did you hear that? Look, anytime someone talks about impact, oh my goodness, not just, that's basically the foundation of the Jackson Impact, being impactful, making a difference beyond your community. It's a global thing. So, oh my goodness, my heart just smiled.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is Tennessee's best kept secret, ChampionSpin.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we'll have to sort something out, won't we?
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
right.
Yeah, we have to sort something out because that bike's been sitting in there for ages in the shed.
It's time to take off the dust.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think so because I do have a trampoline, so in the summertime is the best time to use that. So I do have a good form of exercise, but I think because of the lockdown and makes you lazy, I think. So
Yes. I think the lockdown, and they keep saying we'll potentially go into a like I never know. At this point, I'm like, y'all just tell me what to do so I know what to do for my business. But I witnessed firsthand like how the lockdown affected people. So you see, I have new clients come in and they tell me, well, I've been in the house this whole time. I haven't picked up a weight. I haven't been on a bike since the beginning of the pandemic, over a year ago.
Yeah.
And so they come in or maybe they've even had COVID themselves, and they come in and they're huffing and puffing and they're tired. And I feel like in the beginning, when I started ChampionSpin, with my business partner, I was very pregnant. I was 7 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm on the bike and they're like, "You're not tired?" I'm like, "Not really." But, they've been in lockdown for such a long time. Their mental health has suffered, and you can see it. Like I can tell when a client's having a good day before they tell me. Like literally watching them walk in the building, I can tell. And it's one of those things where, as I've like been growing with my team as well, I tell them like all the things that we deal with, like we need to be human because our clients are also human. And I feel like for the longest, I was so scared to talk about mental health because, again, like I was raised that, like, you're not depressed, you're just in your feelings or something, like you're just being dramatic. And so witnessing my own mental health change and then the clients around me that I've been able to bring into my community, like when I tell you these people go hard, like Angela, if you come in person, just be ready. Go hard. We just started filming and I was like in the mirror looking at them like, y'all are going double hard. They told me, oh, well, we got to look good on camera. But the thing is, people that we've brought in, we're instilling these good values and these good habits in them because I don't want you to come work out with me because you feel like you have to work out or you feel like you have to support me. I want you to do it for yourself. And I get asked very often, like, how are you so patient? When I had my studio in Memphis before we came here and built ChampionSpin, those classes were full, even in the midst of a pandemic. In the area I was in, there was just no really any limitations. So we could still grow. And I get asked, like, literally in my DMs, probably like twice a week, hey, I want to start a business. How are you so patient? How is your mental health? Like, how is your mental health affected by having a business? It's 100% affected because whatever your business is your livelihood. Right? So it's like, if it's doing bad, you're like, we're trying to survive. We're going to do the thing. But I feel like if you're just open and transparent with these people that you want to bring to your service, bring to your business, they will truly come. And those are the people that will stick. Like, I'm patient because I want people who are going to let me help them change their life. I don't want you to come in and sweat with me and leave and I didn't even get your name. So I feel like that's something as well, which if you do follow me on social media, or whenever this does broadcast, of course, if you do, then you will see when you come to my page, I am very demanding. That's the best way to put it. I am demanding. I want you to be better. I want you to be your best self because it's not for me. It has nothing to do with me. Like I tell my team, as messed up as it might sound, I'm like, we are the least of our concerns. It is about these people that we have to take care of these people because they take very good care of me. Okay, like one day
awesome.
I think one time out of this almost 8 months, my phone died, and so my alarm did not go off, and I was like sitting on the edge of the bed, like so sad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have failed all of these people. And so I like go down my little spiral of anxiety. And when I finally got a hold of my clients, they were like, you probably just needed the rest. Like, it is okay to rest. And I was like, oh my gosh, y'all are so nice to me. I'm going to send you a card Like I was just in my feelings because again, we're here to show up for these people. So I'm like, dang, I didn't show up for these people. And they're like, but you did. So I think it's definitely taught me just being patient comes with the territory, but it also comes with being healthy. Because if I keep rushing it, my mental health will suffer. And I would like to continue to be well rounded when our name is known globally. So
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you do, I mean, it's true. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So you definitely have to replenish yourself and pour into rejuvenate, those kinds of things. So,
Yeah.
I was going to say, and I'm going to say this real quickly, Mason. So for people who have health conditions or, you know, physical ailments, things of that nature, do you do assessments of some kind before they start the fitness program?
So when I was in personal training, yes. With spin, we do this thing where they can come spin with us for free, their first time. And usually if they come into my class first, I'm usually like, hey, go ahead and come again tomorrow just to see if it's doable. Like, is it a habit you could build? But I'm also I'm very blunt. Like I don't really have a filter. I think the military did that to me. So I really like to, to get to know people ahead of time. Like, hey, what are we working with here? What do you truly need from me? Because I can teach a class. Like I will coach you through 45 minutes and you will kill it. However, what is it that you truly need? What do we need to unlock to get to your best self? So I wouldn't say it's necessarily like a full like written assessment, anything of it like that. Of course, they have a waiver and they do have to disclose any health conditions they have. But I really just like to get to know them on a personal level, like, hey, what are you working with? And we have clients come in with everything. We have pre-diabetic clients, we have diabetic clients, we have clients who have had surgeries on basically everywhere on their body. We have clients where like this is their last resort. Like
Okay.
this is their last chance to take care of themselves before they can't anymore. And we have a lot of clients, even our coaches, we talk about mental health often because we are not perfect. And I suffer from anxiety, I suffer from depression, I have PTSD as well from the military. And it's kind of learning like, okay, what's in your backpack today? Like before you
Yeah.
walk in the door, what is in your backpack? So I know how to lead you well. Because it's like if I don't even bring my backpack, class
Yeah.
probably won't go too well. You know what I mean? So just recognizing these these people that are coming in are going to come exactly as they are, and we can't expect
Yes.
any less than that. They're going to give us their best, and sometimes for them that is their absolute worst. And definitely, and we have clients that are licensed mental health professionals, which I love to like refer them to her. Her name is Demetria. I think you know her, Angela.
I do know her,
Oh,
longtime friend.
does too, right? Yeah. So so we have clients that are in social work. We have clients that work for doctors, all the things. So I love to just kind of, that's the whole point of us being a community. Like if we're not a community, we can't take care of you. If I'm just a
Right.
big brand, a big name, or just a face, I cannot take care of you as an individual. And I always tell others, like, yes, I'm very militant, but I'm 100% approachable. Like I tell my family all the time, it might be viewed sometimes that I have like no emotion because I just process. So I just paint on my hands right now. So that's what that is. But
That's
the
okay.
thing is, if I don't process what you're telling me, I'll never know how to help you. So I always tell people, like, if I'm just staring at you and you're telling me what's going on, I just want to process it properly so I can help you get the help that you need, because we all need help at some point. Like I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't ask for support in some way from somebody. So I I really encourage them after every single class. I tell them, if you need to talk, hit me up. They have my personal number. And then, of course, I engage with them as well through social media, because I can even tell if they're having a bad day from that. Or people can tell with me as well. They're like, hey, I have not seen you on here all day. And I'm like, girl, I've been asleep. I haven't been so just, I guess, just the more transparent I am about being well-rounded, and that it's always a process, it's a continuous journey. Like I said, that ball is always rolling. That marker on the ball is always going to come back to the top at some point, and you have to push the ball. So I guess I'm just always trying to help others push the ball too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's great. There was one thing I wanted to ask. Because you went from army, and then you went on from that. Was that kind of like, because you was there 6 years? Was that like a plan just to leave and then go for a personal trainer? Or was that, or did that just, or did the army get to really impact your mental health too much for you just to say, I can't do this anymore? Or like how did the process come afterwards to create that, to create your business and be a personal trainer?
So with the military, I think because when I was in high school, I knew I was going to join the military. I always knew that that was going to be my life, and I planned to stay until retirement. When I advanced to E6, I was 21, which most E6s, if you look at the numbers, I can't remember what the average age is now, but back in 2013, 2014, the average age was like 30 plus. So I was very young in my role. I was living in another country. I was living in Japan, and I was like isolated from my family. And in the military, even, you see a lot of things, you deal with a lot of things that are not normal, but you're just taught to just continue on. And so that definitely affected my mental health and how I viewed myself as a person. And my philosophy has always been, I just want to impact one person. And it came to the point of, I don't think I can impact anybody else. And if I stay, I'm stuck. And I've always been a doer. I'm like, if you need this, I got you. I will do it. I will do it before you even ask me. And this was the first time I was given the opportunity and the option. I said, okay, I never do anything spontaneous. I never do anything different. My life has been the same for 6 years. So I'm just going to try. And this is also like sidebar, but I had something called a golden ticket. So I had a year. And if within that year I wanted to go back to the military, I could go back in at my own rank, at my same pay, and go to the next duty station. So did I have a safety net? I did, but I didn't want to use it. And when I left the military, I didn't go right into fitness. I actually went into ministry. So I was working with inner city kids in Memphis, and I absolutely loved it. My biggest thing was, I just want to impact others. And again, it was just one of those things where I recognized I can't impact people the way that I want to in this organization. So now I have to take matters into my own hands. And so when I started my business, it wasn't, I won't even say it was a do or die. It was something that was destined to happen, because I couldn't, people would not leave me alone. They would be like, can I come train with you? Can I come train with you? Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And I was like, okay, maybe I'm on the right path. So let me just keep digging deeper. Let me talk to somebody about it. Let me kind of see, what are my reasonings behind these habits. And I recognized I was actually impacting people, and it actually kind of like lit a fire for me.
Yeah.
Like when I was impacting people in the military, it was one of those things like, well, that's supposed to happen because that's our job. When I was impacting people in ministry, or in this specific type of ministry, it was okay. That's because that's my job.
Yeah.
So now, having to take these matters into my own hands, it's because I wanted to do that. And because I did whatever it took to impact that one person. And I truly believe, like, that's why I had to learn as well. I used to view people as numbers. I'm like, there's this, I literally think I used to have like OCD or something, because I would count every time I was in a room, I was always counting how many people are in the room, how many people are in here with me, how many people can see me. And I kind of switched it to how many people are going to show up. And then if I wasn't in here, would I still be happy that they were in that room? And so it honestly just switched my whole trajectory on how I lead people, how I love people, how I want people to lead me and be there for me. Because coming from the military, I was a number. We have a quota. We have a certain amount of people that you have to have in a room, or in a I don't even know the word anymore. It's been so long. In a division or a department. And so I always thought, okay, well, you're here, so I don't have to be here. Bye. And now it's like, oh, well, I'm not here. So that is a problem. I need to be here for these people. So definitely, to answer your question, it really was based off of, I recognized I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. And just because I was comfortable in it did not mean that's where I was supposed to be. And now I'm always uncomfortable. Like, even on my best days, people are like, oh, you make it look so easy. I'm like, it was a battle. It was a battle to do that. Like, there's so much behind the scenes. There's so much work. Like, I was painting our stage before I hopped on this call. And I randomly said, I'm going to paint our cubbies as well, like our lockers, because those would look better black, and that would improve our experience. Like, I'm always thinking, it's an experience, not just a class. You experience the change. You experience your mental health improving, your physical health improving, all of it. It's true. It's an experience to be well-rounded. Like, when I want someone to meet me, what was your experience though? Because I can be nice to you, but I could be having a bad day. So what was your real experience? Like, was I genuine? Was I authentic with you? And even like, I use that with everything. If I don't like something, I will say it immediately. I'm like, if I had a bad experience, someone else will have a bad experience too.
Awesome. I love what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I can hear the heart in all of it. The heart, the spirit, the mind. It sounds like you definitely are mindful about the entire process. And as you said several times, it is a process to it. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. It's good that you're doing something that you love to do as well. Because like, I suppose it's a hobby for you, like every day, like helping people to try and improve their goals as well. So yeah, I think it's really good what you're doing.
Thank you.
Flo, tell the viewers and listeners how they can make contact with you.
Yes. So my primary method, I guess, is Instagram. I don't know when this happened to me, but I'm apparently a micro influencer. We use micro because I'm tiny out here. But I truly love influencing people to do the right thing, do good things for themselves. So my Instagram is Florry's Kind of Fit. She's kind of fit out here. We just had a baby. So it's FLORRYSKINDAFIT. And then our studio Instagram is ChampionSpin with an underscore. So you can see all of our coaches. You can see our clients killing it every day, and just learn more about us as well. And I want to say that's it. You can really find all of my contact information through my Instagram as well. If you don't have Instagram, I am on Facebook. It's just my full name. It's Florry Weinstein. And then ChampionSpin Murfreesboro is the Facebook page for that. So you can always find me through one of those two things, because I run our pages. But yes, that is how you find me.
Yeah, so lots of really good context for Flo there. one of the last questions, Flo, is like, do you have any goals like for the future for your like for like the for what you do? Do you have any like goals for the future at all?
I do. I have a lot of goals, but the most important ones to me right now is to get my studio to 100% capacity, um, and then open another load. I want it maybe 200%, 200%, because that would mean that I need another location. So my goal is to have 2 locations for the studio, just to be able to hit everybody, and also for convenience. Some people drive pretty far to get to us, but my goal is to literally impact as many people as possible. That is my goal that I put on my coach's shoulders. I'm like, hey, this better be one of your goals, because if it's not, we will never succeed. And then my goal as well is just to build my on-demand classes so I can reach people outside of Murfreesboro as well. So we're doing that slowly but surely. I am not that good with the camera, but we're learning. And so I'm really excited for that. Speaking it into existence, that we have a goal of having 125 people in our online community. So that's our goal for that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good goal as well, because like there's lots of goals. Like it looks like there's going to be lots of goals for you, but I suppose one step at a time, and then you can create more.
Yeah, that's the plan. There's always something to do. So
yes,
that's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. And before we go, Angela, is there any last words that you want to say?
I want to again say that Flo is Tennessee's best kept secret. She will be presenting at the Wellness on the River Conference in May, Mental Health Awareness Month. So come ready for demonstrations. Flo, also bring whatever you have, cards, videos, links, all of that type of stuff, so that you can share. And hey, you might market it and get some new clients.
Yes, I am ready. I'm so ready.
Yeah.
We're gonna be on the General Jackson. We're gonna figure out how to get the bikes on there. I'm so
excited.
Yes.
Yeah. I won't be on the boat, but I'll be there.
Yes, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get you on the bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll be live streaming you, Mason.
Don't drop me in the water. Yeah. It might be a poor connection at the bottom, down there, but
yes, They already said poor Wi-Fi on the boat, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll make it work.
Definitely. And Flo, is there any final words for you, like before we go?
I just want to say thank you for having me. My head exploded when I first spoke to Angela, and she was like, "Do you want to be on a podcast?" And I was like, thank you so much, because this is something I've always wanted to do. I just never knew if that would ever be a thing for me. So I'm just very grateful for the opportunity. And if you are watching or listening, just know, like, it is okay to be human. It's okay to be a person. If you're out here trying to pretend to have it all together, you will definitely thrive more if you just stop and just recognize, okay, what do you want for yourself? What do we're 3 months into 2022. We're about to be done with March. Imagine if you started today and said, this is what I want for myself, and you started taking those steps, and then hit me up at the end of the year and let me know where you got. So yeah,
that's it. And yeah, I think today's been a really good conversation. And I know Flo was a little bit, I suppose, nervous, because this is her first podcast, and she can say she's done that now, because it is I suppose it is nervous, like come on a podcast, so speaking about a few things that's personal to you and your own mental health experiences. But I think it's been really good. And hopefully, Flo, we can arrange a little session Well,
I
yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
Just say the word and I will
Yeah.
add you in class. I'm so
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah. I am as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for everyone who's watching and listening, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Mental Health Awakening. Thank you.
Bye.